Mrs. Gray Math here. So today we're talking about product of powers. Now with product of powers, we're going to be multiplying the powers, meaning the exponents, with the same base. That word same base is key here. We want to make sure we have them with the same base. So in this particular example, I have x raised to the third power, x raised to the fifth power. I have a base of x, another base of x. These are to the same base. Now the product of power rule states that if we are multiplying exponents with the same base, we are going to keep the base the same and add the exponents together. So if we head to the next slide, you'll see what that looks like. So just as we mentioned on the first slide, both of these have the same base, and that's the base of x. So with the product of power rules, if I'm multiplying exponents with the same base, I'm keeping the base together and I'm adding the exponents. So here the same base is x, right? And just like I did up here, I have an exponent of 3. I'm adding that to an exponent of 5 for a total of x to the 8th. So let's take a look at a few problems together. On the very top, I'll call this problem 1. Now, one of the things to always remember is you see here this first m, there's no exponent. Well, at least none that we can see. But this is the same thing as that if we do not see an exponent, it has an exponent of 1. So remember, what does the product of power rule state? Product of power rule states that if the bases are the same, we are just going to add our exponents. So let's start with my m. I have m to the 1 plus, here's an m to the 2 plus 2 plus an m to the 3. So I'm left with m to the 6th. And now let's look at our n. I have n 4 plus, here's my n to the 1 plus 2. So that is my n to the 7th. That's it. That is my answer. M to the 6th, n to the 7th. Now let's look alike the second one. Here, the only thing different is I put on coefficients, okay? Coefficients don't change. We are going to multiply the coefficients just like we normally multiplied the numbers, okay? Remember that we're only adding the exponents. So what is 3 times negative 7? Yeah, there's negative 21. And now looking at, we have a base of x, base of x. What are we going to do with those exponents here? Well, I'm going to keep the same base and add those exponents. So makes my final answer as negative 21 x to the 8th power. Okay. Now let's try the next one. Same thing, let's deal with our coefficient first. Negative 4 times 6, negative 24. Now I have k to the negative 3, k to the 4. Well, same base, and the product of the power rule says I'm going to add the exponent. So negative 3 plus 4. And let's simplify. I'm left with negative 24, because remember, coefficient didn't change. And it's negative 3 plus 4. It's just 1. I'm left with k. You do not need to write the exponent of 1. Just like we don't need to write something if it has a coefficient of 1. So that is our final answer. Okay. Let's take a look at the next one. Now here, be careful. We're in parentheses. It means that this exponent we treat just like the distributive property, and this exponent is on everything inside of these parentheses. So here I have a negative 5 to the third power, a b to the third power, okay, got rid of my parentheses there, times, same thing, a negative 3 to the second power, and a b to the second power. So now let's simplify. as normal, with my coefficients, take care of those first. What is negative 5 times to the third power? Please don't tell me it's not negative 15. It's negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. This one you may have to plug into your Desmos. Did you get negative 125? Perfect. Okay. Now, what about here? What is negative 3 squared? Negative 3 times negative 3, it is positive 9. Positive 9. Now let's deal with my variables. I have a base b, and I'm going to add these two variables, 3 plus 2. And when we go to simplify, because we're not done yet, okay, I'm going to multiply my two coefficients. Negative 125 times positive 9, that's a negative 1125. And then I have a b to the 5th power. How did you do? I know you did amazing because you're an amazing mathematician. So as always, if you need help, come see me. Let's get together for tutoring. Have lots of math fun. Remember to check back often to Mrs. Gray Math on YouTube.